Hello, M. Redding here. So I have another question for my fellow authors out there. I started thinking about something, and it's my answer on this has actually changed. But I was wondering, what is your biggest fear as an author, as a writer, as somebody who's publishing their works? Before I started publishing, it was figuring out the process. And I was really afraid that I wasn't going to be able to figure it out. And that actually impeded me for years, literally years. And once I got past that, then I had the fear, once I published my first book, of the criticism. Are people going to like it? Are they not going to like it? And is it even any good? I mean, who knows, right? And and then eventually you get a couple books published, you get farther along with that, and that's not as big of a fear anymore. You always have that, right? And so I think there's lots of different things people can be afraid of. The marketing, just the getting out there, the public, whether it's publishing or so many things you could be afraid of. But where I'm at right now, and I'm not sure if this is ego or something else, but what I am most afraid of is someday when the very last person reads my book. Because, your book is only alive inside of here, right? And yes, it's on the pages, but if people aren't reading the pages, then the story dies. The story dies, the characters die, everything dies. And that's my biggest fear, that at some point in the future, which seems inevitable, that there will be eventually a point where my last book has been read, and that's it. And I guess why I find that fearful is just, we as authors, we put so much of ourselves into our works, and our characters and the stories, they become part of us. We're part of them. And to think about these stories someday just not even existing really, because nobody's reading them anymore. And so it just does die. And that's my biggest fear, is that someday my stories will die. So I'd love to hear from you and what your biggest fear is.